Welcome again to the Bethel Park Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. I'm your guest host today. Bill is your regular host. We're taking a tour of what's going on here at the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Today I'm visiting because I like construction. I like demolition. I like building. And we have my good friends John and Maggie Smootser here from Metropolitan Window. The day is finally here. 105 windows are being put into the building. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and I want to introduce you to John and Maggie. I've known them for probably every bit of 20 years. I've been on a lot of their construction sites, Bill. They do an amazing job. We love what they do, and I'm just absolutely thrilled that John and Maggie are part of the project here at the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. So looking forward to spending the day here with you, Bill.
Great. Andy, thank you for coming back. Actually, who knew that less than a year ago when you first interviewed me here that I now have, a representative of the Historical Society, and we have our own cable show, which is tremendous. So thank you for coming back today, and because I'm so excited to show you all the progress that we have and to explain how that all came about with the Schmutzers and Metropolitan Windows. So come on in.
Yep. Let's go and take a look. Welcome back to the Schoolhouse Art and History Center, home of the Bethel Park Historical Society. Bill, today we're very excited. The windows are being done. They're probably half done now, and I know this isn't possible without the help of Metropolitan Window. And today we have John and Maggie Smootser, the owners of Metropolitan Window. So, Bill, tell us from the beginning where we are today with it, and then we'll get on to John and Maggie here.
Okay. Well, Andy, welcome back. It's good to see you. And through your help, you've been here about 4 times now, and it's just propelled the community to get an interest in this project. So it was about a year ago that we kicked off our capital campaign to try and raise $1 million to renovate this building. And we were fortunate in that we had gotten $140,000 from State Representative John Marr to kick off that campaign. I was talking to one of our members, who actually happens to be my cousin. She graduated in 1976. They were celebrating their 50th anniversary, and she had $500 left in their reunion money, and she said, Bill, what can we do with this? And I said, I've got the best idea. I said, we're going to kick off a window campaign whereby we're going to challenge each of the graduating classes to sponsor a window for $500. We'll put a name tag on the windowsill saying donated by the class of, in their case, 1976. She said, that was great, let's go. So I'm happy to say that it hasn't even been a year. Right. We raised all the money. We've gotten 8 decades of classes. The oldest class is 1949. They actually purchased 2 windows. And the most recent class is 2016. So now we've gotten all the money gathered, and we said, all right, now we have to go out and see if we can buy these windows. So being a 501c3, we went out to the community, and it's always prudent to get 3 bids. So we had 3 bids come in. And we were nervous because the bids were higher than the amount of money that we collected. So we were trying to figure out, all right, how are we going to honor our commitment to the community and yet afford to do these windows? So I said, I was talking to another member, Scott Ward, and he said, Bill, have you reached out to Metropolitan Windows? And I said, I haven't. So he said, the Schmutzers are good friends of mine. Let me call them and arrange a meeting. So within a couple of days, John came, and I think it was right before Memorial Day. Right. And we spent about an hour just walking the project. And I have to say, by the end of the hour, he was hooked. So he said, Bill, we want to do this project. So give me a couple of days. Don't make a decision yet. Let me see what I can do. And I'm happy to say that he called 3 days later, and I'm going to let him go into how that all came about.
Yeah. So John and Maggie, thank you for being here in Bethel Park and part of this amazing project. But you did something very unique in putting this package together to have your company as part of this. Was there something that excited you about this project?
Bill, I want to tell you something. When I first met Bill and we walked the building, Bill, I wish you'd sell windows for me. I'll tell you what, you're fantastic.
After I finish this job.
Okay. But we walked around the building, and he was showing me all the displays, the military room, the original classroom that we'll win right now. I just got very, not so much emotional,
right.
but excited
Yeah.
because this
that's
is
what every time I walk into this building, I get excited.
right. I mean, this is something that is history. And one thing that I think our youth needs today is they need to know the past. They need to know, how we got to where we're at. Right. And this building is an example of history for Bethel Park. So the more Bill talked and the more I walked around and saw what I saw. And what amazed me is the amount of volunteers that has contributed to this project. And I said to Bill, I want to be involved. So I went back and I said, now how am I going to do this? So I contacted my window manufacturer, Pavia, located in Sugar Creek, Ohio. They're a phenomenal company. And they do a lot of charity work. That's just part of their mission statement. So I asked them, I said, look, we have 105 windows here. I said, I need one of the best prices you could ever give me. And they sent over a revised bid from what my normal price would be. I called them, I said, it's not good enough. I said, we need to do a little bit better. So they did, and I thank Pavia tremendously. And then there was other companies involved too. Artcraft donated a lot of the wood stops that we needed for the job. Brookside Lumber, a Bethel Park company, they donated lumber for me. Beacon Supply donated some coil stock to trim the exterior. Waste Management donated 2 dumpsters that we could dispose of the old windows. So through phone calls and putting some pressure on my suppliers, they graciously donated a lot of the stuff. And
but John, I don't want you to miss the part that you're donating most of the labor for this project too. I mean, you got a big crew of employees here today and yesterday and Monday, and they'll be here next week and so forth with it. So, I mean, yes, you coordinated getting all the other supplies, but we can't thank you enough for what you and Maggie are doing as far as the labor, because you're still paying these guys.
Sure, they don't work for free. But, God has been very good to us. I mean, we've been in business now 40 years, come March of 2018. And we have a phenomenal business, and God's been good. And we have always given back to the community through a variety of different organizations that we volunteer our time. So it's only money, and I've never seen a hearse being followed by a Brinks truck. So it's nice that we could do this. It's nice that we're in a position to do it. I also want to mention that Century Steel, Mr. Don Taylor, he provided the lift because we could have never. It really is. Yes, that's right, and they're a great family, and we appreciate what Don Taylor has done.
And it's one thing about walking. This is the first time I visited the site while the construction was going on, and it's like a spirit in the building. This is my take. This is a spirit in the building that hits you the moment you come in, the nostalgia that's here, the sense of community. I know we've done the windows, but I said to Bill, listen, I like to volunteer here. I like to just, put on my grubs and do it. And I feel jealous because I don't have this sense of community where I'm at, or the people in Bethel here are truly blessed that they can come here and have this touchstone to what it was. Right. And to have it right here under their fingertips is a true treat,
Well, Maggie, what did you think when Bill came back to you and started telling you about this project and how he wanted to get involved?
Well, I've always passed the building. Back in the years I stopped here to get a few arts and crafts. When it was an art and crafts center, I'd buy little gifts here. And I'm a teacher, and John's a teacher by trade. Our former beginnings were teachers. So of course this was a calling for us. Of course this was a place that we had to be at and do. And it's truly exciting. And if you're in Bethel and you're not involved after hearing or seeing this, if you don't call Bill and get involved, you're missing out on a Bethel Park history.
Well, take us through some of the actual work that's being done here, John. I mean, 105 windows. I mean, I know you've done some big houses. Most houses don't have 105 windows, let alone windows that, what are these, 7, 8 feet tall on them? I mean, this is a task. Take us through what it takes to take out an old window and put in one of these new windows that still reflect a building. I mean, from the outside, I mean, these windows look like they're still 100 years old from the outside, but they match the decor of the building and the historical aspect of the building. These aren't just, okay, I slapped the window in and it's never going to look the same.
Right. Well, fortunately, Bill had some historical pictures for the grid design of the windows, so we duplicated that. But the process of putting them in is basically the same as what we would do with old double-hung windows in a residential home. You know, you remove the stops on the interior, and we replaced them all here in this building. And all the windows are custom-made to fit the openings exactly. Now, in the building that's old, I knew right from the start that they weren't going to be all plumb and square. Absolutely not. But there's ways and transitions that we make to make them fit, to make them square in the opening, and to make them look good. And hopefully the windows last, you know, for 50 years or plus, and the community enjoys them.
Well, how long does it take your guys to replace one of these windows?
Well, we started the project this past Monday, and we will be here Tuesday, so we'll have 7 full days. And we have 3, 6, we have about 8 people here working on the project.
Now the skill of your employees, though, to take these out, and the age of the wood, some of the wood's rotten, the new trim you're putting in, that, I mean, I have to say, my hat's off to the skill of your employees also. You have some pretty talented installers with your company.
They're the best. They know what they're doing. They're true craftsmen. Those are the only people I hire are true craftsmen. And they're getting very difficult to find today, by the way. But they're very talented. They run into certain situations, not only in this building, but in residential homes. But we are qualified and capable of taking care of it. So whatever needs to be done, we can do.
Yeah. And Andy, I think it's an important part because a lot of people have commented, how can you replace windows that are 112 years old in the original building and 100 years old on this side? And, we anguished over that. Mm-hmm. But the problem is a lot of the wood was rotten. They're not insulated, and it just, our heating bills were astronomical. Right. So it was important for us to be a landmark building that we actually maintain the look of the windows. So, right. That's where John and Maggie got involved, and it just, if you were driving by this building, you wouldn't be able to tell. All you know is that, they're great looking windows, mm-hmm. and they're maintenance free. So nobody's going to have to get on, an 80-foot scaffolding to paint them. They're, high efficiency, and they're insulated, and they're operational, and they even come with screens, which is fantastic. So it just, I can't thank the Schmutzers enough, and Metropolitan Windows and all the other vendors, and it's also the team too. I mean, they have been so professional, so courteous, and just very respectful. And I have to say, when each of you guys walked in, they were in awe of the building, and they were just, so, as so many people are, so mesmerized with the space, and just immediately bought into the project. So it's been a gift. It's been a pleasure, and it's just, it's a wonderful thing.
How excited from the Historical Society, board members and so forth? Well, what have they said the last couple of days when they're driving by? And because I know you don't want people in here right now because of the construction, it's dangerous. But what are they saying? Just
Well,
looking at it from the outside, it has to be.
You really get a pulse through Facebook. And as you know, we've had a Facebook page for 10 months. And on Sunday, we had our board meeting and we had a picnic for the members. And we kind of said a final goodbye to the old windows. We took a group photo out by the Metropolitan sign. And that photograph, as of this morning, has reached about 1,800 people. And, you know, the comments, the compliments to Metropolitan Windows, you know, the gratitude from the community is, you know, an outpouring. And I hope you all get a lot of new business from residents that are,
you know, Bill, they can't do any more in my house. Every window in my house has already been done by John and Maggie, so I can't do that. But, you know, we still always refer them to it. You guys are amazing.
Well,
and
But Andy, I do have to say this. Bill was talking about it's a true gift. I'll tell you what, the Historical Society, there's one gift that they received that maybe people don't know, but none of this would have happened if it wasn't for Bill. And I take my hat off to you.
You know, I'm just one person that, you know, but there's a whole group of people and a strong board behind us that are so enamored with this building and so behind this project. And I refer to myself as the poster child for the building. So it's just, you know, so I'm just fortunate that I have the wherewithal and you know, we've got a good group of people and it's, you know, it's Facebook. It's the companies like you that want to get involved and to help, because trust me, you can't do anything unless you have the backing of the community and, you know, its residents. So, and the residents stepped up to the plate. And I just, you know, at the end of the day, as people drive by now and they see these windows, they don't, we were laughing this morning that, you know, we had shower curtains, literally, that were stuffed in holes of the building. And when they come by and they just see these brand new windows and the building has life, they're no longer thinking that this building is going to be demolished. There's something going on here. How can we get involved? And it's just snowballing. And that's the incredible thing about the community. So it's a good thing.
Good.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
John,
Nice.
Maggie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
John,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And Andy,
pleasure.
thank you to you also for getting the word
I'm
out.
just holding the mic.
Oh, well, it's an important position.
All right. Thank you. And, you know, let's take a look around this building.
Sure.
We're gonna
give you
peek at some of the windows here. So thank you.
Okay.
John, we're in the boardroom. Can you just walk us through a little bit, to take a couple minutes and go step by step as far as what your crew is actually doing
Sure.
for the windows?
Well, as you can see in the background, Tommy's out there now and he's sealing the exterior of the window with silicone caulking. Another gentleman went to get some stops on the interior and he'll cut them to size and he'll put them around the window and nail them in. Actually, the original windows had interior wood stops that we actually remove, and then we clean the opening, and the windows are installed, screwed into the existing jamb of the window through the studs. Hopefully there's studs in these old walls. And then we insulate around the perimeter of the window. We put new stops on the interior, cover everything on the exterior, making the complete window opening maintenance-free, and then we seal everything with the silicone caulking.
Now, 105 windows. Did you have to measure
Each-
one separately?
each and every-
This isn't just one size fits all.
No. All the windows, again, are custom-made. So to make sure that we got the right window for the right opening, Paul, the crew leader here, he and I spent about 3 hours out here with Bill, and we measured each individual window.
And how'd you remember which one went where?
Well, we numbered them.
Smart.
We started on the 3rd floor, and then we actually marked each window, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 105. And then when we order the windows, we have the factory tag the windows with our coordinating number.
Where they go.
So we knew exactly where each window
And
went.
now is it your job to come back and test them?
Well, we can do that right now. They do go up and down, and the bottom sash tilts into clean. So they should have no
So it has
issues
the look
whatsoever.
of the old, but the function of the new.
Correct.
Perfect. What more can you ask for?
So welcome back to the Bethel Park Historical Society Presents, and I'm standing next to one of our most recent acquisitions. It was featured at the Bethel Park Council meeting last week or so. It is the eagle that was atop of the flagpole at the now demolished Logan Elementary School. So we were so fortunate in that someone had donated it back to us. And one of the volunteer firemen, Dan Huey, had taken the eagle, done some restorative work, and spray painted it gray. This actually is the primer. So we're looking to find a company that will return it back to its gold color hue. One of our Historical Society members is making a mount for it, and we don't want to put it outside any longer because we want to make sure that it's preserved, so we're going to have it on display indoors. In addition, I want to say a thank you to Bill Mercer. He is a master craftsman and trim carpenter, and he actually went to the school, elementary school, way back when, and he has restored all and continues to work on restoring the woodwork that has been missing throughout the building. But he surprised us the other night because he had a friend of his owns a company that manufactures signs based on your logo. So I had given him our newly designed logo, which was done by Greg Rose, and he, unbeknownst to us, went out and had a metal sign made. So we're going to pan over to the sign. This is going to be mounted downstairs as you walk into the building. But it's just a wonderful new addition and signifies the rebranding of not only the Historical Society, but the building itself.
All right, Bill, moving outside, besides windows here at the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, you have other things that are going on, don't you?
We do, Andy. Aside from our regular Tuesday and Thursday volunteer nights and Saturdays, we're actually very pleased to have the front steps being reformed. As you can see over my shoulder, we were fortunate in that a company had agreed to knock down the old steps that were crumbling back in the fall, and we've sort of been not able to use the front door for the past several months. Well, this company came in, and they're reforming the steps because, as you know, on October 8th, we're having our grand reopening of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, home of the Bethel Park Historical Society, the community. We're hoping that it's going to be a beautiful day because we're actually going to hold the ceremony out front. And we've got a lot of politicians that are coming. We've got a lot of, we've invited the school board, we've invited the council, we've invited all those people that have purchased windows, people that are purchasing pavers to restore the Governor's Drive, which are $100 that we're going to have engraved.
And still have some available?
We do.
Okay.
And just anybody and everybody that wants to come in and see all the changes that have been made to this wonderful building. So that's coming up on October 8th. It's probably going to start around 1 o'clock. We're going to send out announcements on our Facebook page and invitations. And we're doing it in conjunction with the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Department because, as you know, they're across the street. In July, they turned 90. So we want to help celebrate their anniversary. And sort of the impetus not only to showcase the building and all the changes. As you know, Andy, the addition to the original 1905 building, which is behind me, we're celebrating the centennial of the expansion of the building.
Okay.
So the Pittsburgh History and Landmarks Foundation is also coming out, and they're going to unveil our historic landmark plaque, which will be placed on the front of the building. So we're very excited about that also. We also want to acknowledge the fact that we've sort of resurrected the old trolley. So members of the Trolley Museum are going to come out. As you can see over your shoulder, we repainted the trolley back to its original 1949 colors, which are sort of a tan and red. We've also received the decals that would have been on that trolley, and so one of the volunteers from the Trolley Museum is going to come out and adhere those to make sure that they're placed properly. And the Trolley Museum also graciously donated the electrical pole that should be on the top of the trolley, which of course, as you know, was driving the train originally. So we've got a lot of things going on. We're hoping to wrap up the windows in the next week, continue with our Pave the Way campaign, which is to restore the Governor's Drive. So as I mentioned earlier, we're selling brick pavers that will be engravable for $100, and people can either send an email at Historical Society bp@gmail.com, or go to our Facebook page, Bethel Park Historical Society, and just send us a note to let us know. Checks, they can be sent to the Bethel Park Historical Society, 2600 South Park Road, Bethel Park, PA 15102. So a lot going on. And Andy, absolutely. As you know, you were here at the beginning, so you have seen a lot of changes in a relatively short period of time. As I mentioned earlier, we really just started our $1 million capital campaign back in October, and we haven't even reached a year yet, and we've raised over $300,000, whether it be cash or in-kind services. So it's just been truly amazing how people have stepped up and gotten involved and wanted to help. So,
it's a great project. It's close to the hearts of a lot of the residents of Bethel Park, sure. But not just Bethel Park, all the surrounding communities. So
absolutely, because we've had a lot of spouses that have married into Bethel Park residents, and they now claim Bethel Park as their home.
Why not?
And even people who've moved away 50 years ago, they're still sending checks in and saying that I bleed Bethel blood. I may have moved away 50 years ago, but my heart is still in Bethel Park, and here's a little something to help with your renovations. So it's truly amazing.
So thank you for watching BPTV. I'm your guest host today for the Bethel Park Historical Society. Bill?
I just want to thank you for coming out today, Andy, and just seeing all the changes, all the progress that we've made over the past. I keep saying if you came a week ago, you'd notice something differently. If you came an hour ago, there would be changes here too. So we continue to move along. We continue to work classroom by classroom. And with these windows, now when people drive by, they're going to see a significant change and an improvement, and just know that the Bethel Park Historical Society is here to stay, and the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center is a vital part of their community.
Once again, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you again on BPTV.